Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So, probably not going to be a whole lot more videos outside. Starting to get a little cooler, but I thought it was an awesome lesson in the passage from James in considering it pure joy. This tree that's outside of my place, my friend Trey and I planted this guy like 5 years ago, and I think this tree in particular is so meaningful for me. This is the one that I helped with the most with Trey planting, and it was 5 years ago. And just now, after 5 years of nurture and watering and pruning, it's the first year that it's actually borne fruit. Check those little nuggets out. Ah, isn't that so awesome? The exact same day that we planted that tree though, we planted all of these trees along the front of our house. And if you look at this guy, like, it doesn't have any fruit. Check this guy out. We planted this guy the same day and there's no fruit on that guy. This is such a valuable lesson to me. I think in that passage in James where it says, consider it pure joy, I think the cool part about that is joy in the process of perseverance can be robbed by a lack of our consideration. That processes that we are in growth and becoming and maturing and becoming more complete, not always fun, but James says to consider it pure joy. So I think what that means to me is that in my processes of maturing and growing, that my joy in the process is dependent on whether or not I choose to consider the process pure joy. That means that if I don't make the conscious choice to choose the process as being a joy, I won't have any in it. The promise is there, but there's a responsibility on my part to consider it pure joy. That's where I find the joy. But I don't know about you guys, but there's lots of things that God has planted in my life. Either promises, dreams, desires, ministries, that they're in the ground, they're planted, but I've been tending to these things for years and years and years, and I still not seeing any fruit from it. It's just growing, and I'm watering it, pruning it. I check it every year. Winter, there's a coldness. Go through spring, lots of green leaves, super excited. Go through the adversity of summer, I water it, tend it. Get to fall, all the colors come out, but no fruit. So I don't know about you guys, but I often get discouraged in that process. I either want to pull the tree up, dig the seeds up, check on it, see if they're actually growing or not. But it says that the ministry of perseverance, persevering, exuding effort and hope in the midst of adversity over time. That says that perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. And so the end result of perseverance is maturity, completeness within abundance. And so it's easy for me to look at other people who were either planted at the same time as me, or that we were going through similar life circumstances, and all of a sudden their lives are bearing fruit and they're doing well and I'm not. And I start to become discouraged. You shouldn't look at other people's lives in your process to find your validity or your worth. Comparing ourselves to one another in the fruit that we're bearing often leads to discouragement if we focus on the lack that we have and not to see their process, not their journey. And so perseverance has to have its good work in us, that our roots stay deep, that we continue to face the adversities of adverse winds, that we seek deeper and deeper sources of nourishment, that our roots are driven deep in Christ, so that over time, when perseverance has had its full work in us, and we find maturity, completeness, and wholeness, we actually have the strength to be able to handle the fruit that's born in our lives. When the fruit of faithfulness finally comes, and the season of persevering is over, oftentimes the fruit can be so much that it actually will break you in trying to hold the fruitfulness. These trees behind me have broken limbs as a result of the massive fruit that's growing in them. And so I think it's often easy for me to forget that the season of perseverance, the lack of fruit, the lack of seeing ministry manifest in my life right now, is actually a blessing. It's a benefit in the long haul. That the longer that I have to wait for fruit, the more expectancy I can see in the fruit that's coming. Isaiah says that strength rises as we wait upon the Lord. And so strength rises in our period of waiting. As I continue to choose joy, as I continue to consider my trials as a joyful process, I can be assured of the fact that the longer that I have to wait for the Lord's fulfillment of fruit and the fulfillment of His promises in life, the more expectancy I can have in the amount of fruit that's coming. That God is saying, just keep your roots in deep, grow your trunks strong, lift your branches towards heaven, because a weight of fruit is coming in your life that will be so strong if you didn't have that strength, if you didn't have those roots, that the fruit that I'm going to bear in your life, it would break you. My encouragement to you, my challenge, my invitation to you, from lessons that I'm learning in my own process, is that whatever season of endurance that God has you in, to proactively choose to consider it as pure joy, that in the mediated gap between the trial and the fruit, that you would have an abundant harvest of joy. Fruit is on the way, my friends. So in this season, grow your roots deep. Don't compare yourself to the trees and the structures around you. Press in. Don't grow weary in doing good, my friends. For at the proper season, you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. So considering our trials as joy, choosing not to give up, those are our responsibility. But fruit, the reward of our efforts, is in the hands of our Father. Reward is His responsibility. Blessings on your days, guys. I love you lots, and I'll see you in the next video.